Special good evening to all of you. As you know, we are introducing our third international conference on World Mental Health Week. In this series, we have a very special guest speaker with us, Honorable Catherine Ma'am from Kenya. She is a psychologist, spiritual mentor, religious teacher, and currently working as a counselor at Hope and Beyond Rehabilitation Center, Uganda, East Africa. And today she is going to enlighten us with a very relevant topic, that is the loss of loved ones and mental health. And if anyone has query or question, you can ask in the comment section during the YouTube live. So thank you so much, ma'am, once again for your valuable time. I think we can proceed.
Thank you very much, Samyak, and I welcome everyone who is viewing and listening to me. I'm going to talk about the loss of the loved ones and mental health. In other words, I'm talking about death of the loved ones, how the death of the loved ones have affected us mentally. And most of the people, they don't like to hear about death after they have lost their loved ones. But today, bear with me that I inform you that when we lose someone, we are affected. Any loss, we feel pain of loss, we feel sorrow that something has gone out of us. We have lost something which is precious. It might be even a property or money or relationship. Any loss affects us in one way or the other. Today, I would like to talk about the loss of the loved ones. And when I talk of the loss of loved ones, I want to acknowledge that many people are suffering. Many people have mental effect of the loved ones because they didn't have enough time to go through the grief. Grief is a natural response to loss, any loss. However, today we want to focus on the grief we go through when you lose the loved ones. The person you loved so much might be your parent, might be your child, might be your spouse, might be your friend, whoever you have lost in life has caused you grief. And this grief, as you have said, it's a natural response of loss. It is a process. It takes stages. We have to go through these stages when you lose someone. And everyone who loses someone has to go through these stages. The first stage is denial. You feel as if nothing has happened. You are shocked. You are numb. You don't really believe it that someone has gone. You even continue with life as usual. You move on as if nothing has happened. You have this belief, you don't really believe it that something has happened or someone has gone completely. I remember when I lost my father, it took me time to believe that he has gone. Sometimes I walk on the road, I feel as if I'm going to meet him. I was in denial. And many people, we have to go through these. We deny, we feel the person might be still living, and we don't really accept it. It's the first stage that all of us go through when we lose someone. After denial, we enter into anger. We start getting annoyed, angry that we have lost a person. And this pain, this anger can be even projected to our family members, can be projected to our friends. We tend to blame others for the loss. We feel maybe it is so and so who has caused the death of our loved ones. We feel maybe the doctor was not serious enough and it's the cause of the loss. We feel a lot of anger within us. We start asking ourselves, why this has happened to me? Life is not really fair. Why this? And you're full of anger, resentment because of the person who has died. We go through this and we feel really, and we find time and again we are projecting these emotions, we are projecting this anger to other people. The next stage is bargain. We start bargaining. Maybe if we did something, the person can come back. We start having that statement. What if I hurried the person to the hospital very fast? What if I stopped the person from going for the journey? Maybe could not get accident. What if maybe I repent, God can bring this person back to life? We start bargaining. How can we change the situation? How can we bring the person back? How can we really bring this loss back that this person is alive again? We keep bargaining, and we can be in this stage for long. We are bargaining how we can bring a person back. Even after burial, you find people also, they are like, the person can come back to life. And when we go through this stage of bargain and we realize that we can't reverse the situation, we can't bring the person back, we can't do anything, we enter into depression. We get depressed. We get overwhelmed by the reality of loss. We get overwhelmed by the world around us. We feel everything is overwhelming. We can't face it. We can't bear it. We tend to withdraw from people. If even we don't want to talk with anyone, we feel life has no meaning. Some of us even we start developing suicidal thought. We feel it's better even me to die. If it's better that also I die, there is no need of living. So we enter into that stage of depression. And this stage is very sensitive and very serious. If the person is not helped during this stage, if the person doesn't get social support, emotional support, it may result even to major depression. And the person is depressed completely, live with the depression throughout life. So it is a very sensitive area, a stage that we go through, depression. And when we go through this stage successfully, we enter to the next stage of acceptance. We come into terms with the reality that someone has gone, we have nothing to do, we have to move on with life. Life has to continue. We start now devising coping mechanism. How do we cope with the loss? How do we accept it? We start now relieving ourselves. We start getting in terms with what we are feeling, the sadness, the sorrow we are going through. We come in touch with it and we accept the reality that the person has left me. My dad has gone, my mother has gone, my lovely child has gone, my benefactor has gone, and I have to accept it. I have to continue with life. So it is a stage, the last stage, when we are grieving, where we come into terms with the reality of loss. That yes, the person has gone. I have to go through it. I have to recover. I have to move on with life, no matter what, because we can't reverse it. We can't bring the person back to life. And the only way of healing, the only way of getting relieved out of all these emotions is to accept that the person has gone. To accept the reality that yes, I've lost someone who was so dear to me, someone whom I treasured, someone whom really meant a lot in my life. The question is, what causes psychological torture when the loved one dies? There is a lot of things that causes psychological torture, brings a lot of mental issues within us when the person has died. And one of the key cause or something that causes psychological torture is unfinished business with the loved one who has passed on. You realize that there are a lot, because we can't predict death. We keep planning, we keep having things to do in life. We can't predict death. But when the person dies, there are a lot of things left pending. And one of them is responsibility. You realize this person who has gone had a lot of responsibility and you don't know what to do. Maybe you are a wife of someone and the husband has gone. You don't know how to take care of your children. You don't know how to go about the responsibility the person was carrying on, and you are stuck. You are with a lot of questions. How do I go about it? It's so much disturbed psychologically. Another unfinished business is relationship issues. You realize that maybe someone has died, you had conflict, you had relationship issues with this person, but you had not yet reconciled. You had not yet come into terms with each other. You had not yet resolved these issues of relationship, and the person has gone. You might even the end of a family, maybe a father's gone and the whole family, the children, the mother, everyone is in conflict. There is conflict, and you find, I wish this person settled this family before he or she died. So the relationship issues can torture us after the person has died. Another unfinished business is future plans. You had a lot of plans with this person. You want to do 1, 2, 3 things, but the person has gone and you don't know how to carry on those plans. You don't know how to continue. You don't know how to go about it. And you're so much disturbed. Another one is unspoken ideas or ambitions. In fact, you had a lot of ideas. You felt you needed to share with this person. It might be your parent and your child. You wanted to do this. You wanted to achieve this. You might be a wife. You wanted to achieve this and this, and you had not yet shared. And you ask, I wish I shared these ideas with this person before he left, before she left. Maybe the person could have helped me how to go about it. You get stuck and you know whom can I share with? Whom can I tell about this? And you're stuck. I wish this person lived longer. You feel the person has gone too early before you accomplish or you share your ideas or you are guided on how to go about your ambitions. Another one is promises and agreement. We make a lot of promises, or people have died, they have made a lot of promises with us, but they have gone without fulfilling them, or without us fulfilling those promises to them. They say, I wish I had done it. This person had promised this to this person. This person had promised me this, but the person has gone. You are suffering, you are troubled. They say, what can I do? Another thing is the state the person has died in. And this I talk of moral state. Some of our friends, some of our relatives, some of our children, our parents, our spouse have died what we call bad death. For example, someone was a murderer, someone was a thief, and because of that, the person was caught and was burned to life, to death. Maybe someone was an addict, and through addiction, the person has died. And we are left saying, I wish this person had transformed. My father, my mother, my child has died a bad death. I wish this person had transformed. And you are left with the shame, because when this person dies, everyone broadcasts, hey, he was a thief, she was this, she was a prostitute, and was stabbed to death when she was in fornication or adultery. And we are left with all that kind of things, the situation, trauma within us, shame, guilt within us, and it affects us so much. Another thing that troubles us so much is the struggle during the last breath. Here I talk about people who have died in our hands. You have witnessed someone dying, especially these people who have suffered chronic illnesses like cancer. Maybe the person was paralyzed. There are many these sicknesses that have no cure. The person has suffered for a long time. You have seen a person in a coma, comes back to life, in a coma, comes back to life. A person is struggling, and the last minute the person dies when you're watching. And as we have seen people getting accident and dying, how they have struggled. We have witnessed people being burnt to death. When they are alive, they die, burning. This trauma, it is within, it remains in our mind. It is keep coming every time. We get hallucination, we get nightmares, we get troubled. We always remember, I keep remembering, I saw him breathing last. I saw my mother dying. I saw my father dying. I saw my child dying in my hands. And you're so much tortured. You're so much troubled. So these are the things that really troubles us so much mentally and emotionally. Another thing that really touches us so much is when we are accountable for their death. What do I mean? It can happen that you are driving and you knocked someone with a car and the person died. You are left with guilty. I've killed someone. And every time you remembered how you knocked a person, and that trauma is within your mind every time it is torturing you. Maybe you're a medical personnel and you ended up administering a wrong drug to a person. One time I met a doctor who ejected someone during operation and the person died. And the doctor realized later that the injection or the medicine ejected this person was the wrong medicine. And this doctor was telling me, I don't know how to bring out this. I feel guilty. I feel I've killed someone I never intended, but this thing always haunts me. I feel a lot of pain. I feel a lot of sorrow. I feel a lot of guilt within me. So it's a torture when we are accountable for their death. Another point is when maybe you left, maybe fire, or you caused the house to burn, and maybe children or people got burnt in the house, and you really feel if it was not me, these people could have not died. So you're always blaming yourself. You're always that guilty. You're shocked of the event. Even you don't want to remember. Sometimes even you have that fear, anxiety. Every time you see fire, you are reminded of that. Whatever trigger you get, you are reminded of what happened, that you killed someone or you are the cause of the death of someone. And this affects you so much. Other effect of loss is like anxiety attack. When people die, we feel that anxiety. Every time you are feeling a lot of anxiety, even you can't remember where it is coming from, but you feel always you have an anxiety. You are getting anxious every time. Other time you get chronic fatigue. I remember very well when, as I said, when my father passed on, I never believed that he has died. And it took me time to believe it. And because of this, I took time to accept it. But even on it, I heard maybe for my younger sisters who went to study and all that, and to look for a job very fast. I started working to take care of them, and I didn't have time to go through grief. I didn't have somebody to take me through the grief, and I experienced this chronic fatigue. I could just move a short distance. I feel I'm so tired. I even rest, I sleep, but in the morning I'm waking up, the head is so heavy as if I was beaten at night. So we get this chronic fatigue until we go through it. At the time we get depressed, as I said. This person has passed on, meant a lot to us, was so close to me, was so close to you, and has gone, and you feel desperate. You feel depressed, you have nothing to do. And we find we are working with this depression. It might be a mild depression, but we are moving with it day by day because we have not gotten time to go through grief. We have not gotten someone to help us go through it because also we don't want to be reminded of these people who have died. We feel we don't have any business with the dead, and we don't want to be reminded. So we keep this in us and keep affecting us mentally, they keep us affecting us emotionally, even socially. We get affected. Another where we find even during this time you feel depressed, even you can have suicidal thoughts. As I said, you feel like I need to die. I feel like dying. It also can be the effect of loss. Another one is being obsessed by the deceased. You are ever with this person, whether you're walking, whether you are occupied by this person who died. It's full in you. You have never let go. You have never accepted it and let go. You are just embracing the person who has already gone long time, but you're so much occupied by this person. It brings a lot of effect. There is nothing else you can't talk without talking about this person. You can't do anything without remembering this person. This person becomes everything for you. It is going to let go. It is going to reach that moment that you have said it is the person is gone, is gone. But why do we remain in this state of grief? Every time we have buried emotions of the loss and grief and sorrow, it's because there is what you call misconception or myth about death or about grief and mourning. When I talk of misconception, I mean it's a mistaken notion one might have about something he or she believed to be true, but actually it is not true. Some of us, we have been hindered, we have been prevented from grieving and going through the healing process because of this misconception. And one of misconception is you should move away from grief, not towards grief. So every time you feel like you are grieving, people tell you, no, 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 no. Don't allow it to enter you. Don't allow it to occupy you. But remember, grief is a natural response. You have to go through it. But there is that misconception that no, I should push it away, and you keep pushing, you keep masking that I have nothing, I didn't feel any pain. For me, I'm strong. I didn't allow the pain to enter me, and you are there masking. You're moving. And if you want to know, many people are masking and they're moving with this pain and sorrow within themselves. Check when people attend or go for burial. You'll wonder, even those who didn't know the deceased, even those people who didn't know who has died, how the person looked like, you'll find people are crying, people are weeping. Why? They are triggered. And this is the moment they have gotten a chance now to relieve what is within them. Even some, they don't want to hear even announcement over the media. The moment they hear death announcement, they switch off because they don't want to be reminded. They get panic, they feel the tears, they feel the pain is coming. Why? They keep masking because you're told, no, leave the grief away. Don't accept it. Don't allow it to enter into you. You don't need to grieve. Another misconception is tears of grief are a sign of weakness. People think that when you cry, when you shed tears, when you weep because of the loss of the loved one, you are weak. And it's not true. This is a misconception. I want to tell you, when you cry it out, when you bring those tears out, it's part of therapy. It is healing. You are releasing emotions. You are releasing those pain. You are releasing this negative energy within you, and you find you are relieved. But because of this myth, because of this misconception, you're told, please don't cry. When you cry, it shows that you are very weak. I know you are strong, don't cry. You find every time we're able to stop people from crying. There is a friend of mine who told her friend that, I know you're a strong person. When you go for burial, I don't want to see you crying. And yet the person lost a dear one. So people believe that shedding tears, weeping and crying, it is a sign of weakness. It is not. It is not. The worst thing one can do is to allow this judgment to prevent him or her from crying. Cry it out, let go. Then suppressing, you'll suppress that pain, you'll suppress that emotion, and with the time, you'll start projecting it to other people. So it's always going to allow the tears. We call it tear therapy. Let the tears come out. Bring out those emotions, those pains. Another misconception is being upset or open in the morning means you are being weak in your faith. Very serious misconception that if you're a believer, you should not show openly that you're grieving someone who has died. You should remain strong to show that you're strong in faith, which is not. It is not. Grieving has nothing to do with the faith, being strong or weak in faith. It is a natural response that everyone needs to acknowledge and let go through it properly and successfully. So don't let anyone take away your grief in the name of faith. Allow it. You're upset. Yes, someone has gone. You're mourning. Yes, it's normal. Go through it, but you remain strong in faith. By the way, When we suppress all this, we remain with our sorrows, we remain with our depression without letting go, without grieving, without mourning. You realize that with the time we get overwhelmed, even we start doubting this God. We feel we can't come out of it, and we start, even our faith start going low. We start reducing in faith because we have not accepted the reality, we have not gone through the reality, and we have not gone through healing. So this misconception should not hinder you from going through the process of grief. Another misconception is when someone you love dies, you only grieve and mourn for the physical loss of the person. Just physical. That, he has gone, he has gone. It's not true. We are so much connected with the people who have died. And you can't just say, I'm mourning physical look or physical. I mean, you have to go through it because there is a connection. And it will depend on how intimate this person was. So remember that the presence of this person meant a lot in your life. And you remember how the person, he lived with you or she lived with you. So you don't only lose physical look, that out of sight, out of mind. No, there is connection. You have lost someone whom you are connected to. So there is a purpose of going through the grief and let go. There is a purpose of accepting, yes, I was connecting with this person, but this is a time to let go. Then another misconception, people think that when you grieve, you just grieve once and you get over and it's done. Maybe I had one woman who said, it is enough, you have cried enough, stop there. It is enough. My friend, it is a gradual process. You grieve time and again, you realize, you think maybe you have grieved enough. After some time, something comes and you remember, and you start grieving again until that process is complete. And that's why we always advise get a professional support so that you go through it successfully and maybe if possible within the short time. But it is not one day thing, it is not 1 week, and neither month. It is a process that some people, they can go through it even a year, grieving, even 2 years. I remember because of delaying my grief, I grieved my father for more than 7 years. It could come and go, because I didn't have help. I didn't have time to pay attention to that. I was too busy trying to look for how to survive and how to contribute in the family, and I didn't have time to pay attention to this. It took me time. It took me many years, but with time I got help and I was able to go through it, and now I can speak about it openly without any pain, without any sorrow. Then the last misconception, and others maybe which you know according to your culture and where you live, is nobody can help you with your grief. We believe that, we tend to believe that it is my person who has died. So what's the purpose of sharing with the people? Why do I keep broadcasting to people? There is no cause of alarm. He has died. He has died. No, sharing brings healing. The more you share, yes, people may not understand how much you're feeling pain. People may not really feel what you're feeling, yes. They may even not take it away. But the more you are sharing, you keep sharing, the more you are relieving yourself. And with the time, you come into terms with this and you get relieved, you get healed. So these are misconceptions that we have, and they hinder us from going through the grief process, the grieving process. And today I would like us to take a very simple exercise. I'd like to take you through a simple exercise, and I would like you to allow it. Just go through it. We are going to use to have mental exercise. And this exercise will help you to identify some of the areas where you have been affected. I'd like to take you through an exercise which will even help you to understand, to know which stage are you. Because I know Some of you, you have just lost your loved ones of recent, others many years ago. However, I would like to take you through this exercise. You just follow what I'll tell you and do what I'll tell you. It's a mental exercise which will need you to compose yourself, compose your mind, sit in a relaxed way, and go through this exercise. I would like you to remember the people you have lost in life. I'd like you among them, pick one who was so dear to you, so close to you, someone who meant a lot to you, someone who you feel pain every moment you remember. Remember that person by name. Bring the image of that person into your mind. Remember what this person did to you. Try to remember those good moments you spent with this person. See how life was enjoyable. See how life was good with this person. See how this person contributed and supported your life. How this person was so close to you. See him now as if he's living. I would like you to remember those moments he started getting sick, for those who died of sickness. Start remembering the struggle he or she went through. Remember most of the time when you found this person in great pain, in a serious pain. For those who died of accident, remember how the person got the accident, how the person was crushed. Just trying to remember the state this person was in before he or she died. And it is painful. Whatever you feel, allow it. Allow those emotions. Accept those emotions. They are very normal. Yes. See him there. See him on the sick bed. See him how he's struggling. See her how she's struggling. See that kid in your hands. It is so painful to lose someone you loved, someone so dear to you. Yes, time has come. The person has gone. The person has died. You have heard the person has died, or you have seen the person dying. The person is gone. It's no more. Your husband is no more. Your wife is no more. Your child is no more. Your fiancé is no more. Your friend is no more. Has died. Has gone. Just allow those emotions. Allow them to surface. Allow them to surface. When if you feel like weeping, allow it. Whatever you're feeling now, allow it to surface. Yes, you have lost someone so dear. You have lost someone who's so precious to you. You have lost someone whom you never believed that will go. I would like you to see how people are gathered to prepare for burial for those you bury. How people are prepared to prepare the body, to prepare the ceremony. See that environment. It's a strange environment that you never expected. Go through it. Let those feelings surface. I'd like you to see, to hear those sirens. See the vehicles. See people crowding, people burying this person. Time has come to lower this casket, the body into the grave. The person is going, even the body is gone. See how they are pouring sand, they are covering, and this is the time to say goodbye. I'll never see you anymore. Yes, allow what you're feeling. Feel it. Let it surface. For those who burn the body, see how the person is put on fire and is gone. You'll burn to ash. You'll not see that beauty anymore. You'll not see that body anymore. It's gone. It's burning into ashes. See that smoke? Yes, you can hear the noise. You can hear even the head bursting and all that. The loved one has gone. It's time to say bye. You've gone too early, but I have to let you go. Allow those emotions, go through them. Whatever you feel, allow it. Yes. Now imagine the ceremony is over. You are buried. You have finished everything. And you're back home. The first day, the second day, a week, a month. This person is no longer there. You have to go through life yourself. You have to cope with life. You have to move on. See yourself there and start letting go. Accept the reality. The person is no longer coming back and let go. Let go those emotions. Let go that pain, that sorrow, that anger. Let go. Let go. I'd like you to breathe in, breathe in, breathe out. Relax. Breathe in again, deeply. Breathe in, out. Relax. Breathe in again, deep, deep. Breathe out. Relax. Thank you very much for listening to me. I would like to conclude by saying that loss and grief are a normal process of life, that everyone must go through it. Individually, we are affected differently, but all go through the same stages of grief. And it's very necessary to get into terms with the reality of loss than ignoring and end up being affected mentally, socially, spiritually, and other aspects of our life. It is also advisable to seek for professional help so that you can be helped to go through the grief process successfully. Thank you very much. I wish you a therapeutic moment.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a insightful and knowledgeable session. It truly inspire the people, everybody, and it is very relevant topic that everyone uh, should, or everyone has lost someone in their family, either me, you, or anybody, maybe any kind of relation. So this kind of situation, this kind of mental health is faced by everyone in any or some phase of their life. So it is very important topic, and you also explained very well about all the things in a scientific and systematic manner, how they are interacted with our mental health. And also for such a wonderful practical session, practical talk, short, we can say a practical way of dealing with it. uh, my question is related to the mental health professional. What will you advise to the mental health professionals while dealing with such kind of issues? If a person is dealing with issues like with the lost ones, and how they should take care of these kinds of issues when a person goes to a mental health professional?
laws. People need to know about this, but also have time to take the person through the process of grief. Give enough time and take through the person and have different techniques on how the person can go through it, but also psychoeducate people on different ways of dealing with the grief, because we, as a person who has gone through loss, I can be helped to do it myself. It can be either journaling the feelings, it can be either monitoring myself, my feelings from one day to another, can be mental, monitoring my way of thinking. How frequent do I think about the loss, and what do I do with that thought? What are my actions? And then I'm able to be helped. So the professionals, mental professionals, we really need to pay attention to this part of life, which is so much important.
Another question is what are the qualities that should be in a mental health professional or a counselor or a people who are related with this field? So, what are the qualities for making a good mental health professional or a good a counselor or a psychologist? So, in your opinion, what qualities should be adopted by the professionals?
One, we are supposed to be empathetic. We are empathize with other people. Second, we are supposed to be professionals who are able to resolve our own issues. You realize sometimes we are counselors or mental professionals, but we have not resolved our issues. We also need counselors. We need other people to help us. You find I'm dealing with someone who has gotten a loss, but personally, I'm also suffering, and I end up projecting instead of helping the person. So one of the quality is, am I mentally safe? Am I okay? Have I taken time to have that mental well-being so that I can help others who are challenged? At the time, we need to be a very good listeners. Let us pay attention for people. Let us not rush things. You rather handle one thing at a time, give enough quality time for attentive listening and empathetic listening. And without being judgmental, we can help many people.
And what will be your advice to the aspirants or the to the students of this field? So for making or for helping the people through their psychological help. So what is your blessings or the guidance to the aspirants and the students of the psychology?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. I remember the school where I've been studying, one of the major, uh, I mean, concern, or one of the thing that we are supposed to do as students is to have a personal counselor. As I go through the course, I'm also going through my life, what I've gone through, so that when I become a professional counselor, I become a professional counselor who also has dealt. The counseling has gone through me, not only going through the counseling course. So I advise the students who are taking this course to be so much, to have self-care whereby they need also to be helped before they achieve this goal.
Thank you so much, ma'am, once again for your valuable time and for enlightening us with such a necessary and relevant topic with everyone's life, because this is a truth of life. Everyone has to face it either in earlier life or in later life, and it somehow affect the mental health. And I am thanking you for raising this relevant topic on this international conference. It will
Thank
truly
you.
inspire. It will truly inspire a lot and provide the mental health professionals a direction that they should also think or they should also keep in their mind about this very relevant factor that most of
Mhm.
the people are dealing with it. So, ma'am, while winding up today's session, what will be your conclude message or conclude remark to hold the humanity to everyone through this session?
Thank you very much, Samyak. My advice is, this is a normal process that all of us go through. We lose the loved ones, and all of us anyway shall die. What I advise is, when we lose someone, let us be ready to accept the reality of life, go through the process, And again, I would like to advise everyone really to mind about his or her mental health, because once we are tampered, once our mind is tampered with, you realize that we cannot move on very well with our relationship, daily duties, and all that. So the issue of loss, the issue of death, let us not fear death, but know that there is realities. When we lose, we have lost, and we have to go through loss.